Details on the Beijing Auto Show. Cheng is in Beijing, of course, to show it off. Hi, Cheng.
Hey there, Phil. I wish you were here because this monster event just gets bigger every year. And why not? Because China is the world's fastest growing major auto market. 22 million sold last year. We're expecting 11% growth this year. This is from JD Power. And this is why all the car makers are here bringing their A game, trying to impress the Chinese market. And we've got two major trends. That is the premium market as well as the SUV market growing extremely fast. So 30–40%. That is so much faster than the industry average that everyone is trying to get into that or get a slice of that. And we've got companies like Ford bringing out Lincoln, trying to break into the premium segment. We've got the smaller car makers, the indigenous Chinese car makers, also bringing out more fancy and higher price versions of their SUVs. For example, China's largest SUV maker, Great Wall, coming out with their H8, which is going to go into the 200,000 yuan price bracket, which is about, I think, nearly or $35,000 US. So that is expensive for a Chinese-made, Chinese-branded car. Just about everyone is still expecting very strong growth this year, and even if it's easing off from last year's 12%, I mean 11%, 9% is still extremely huge. It's not exactly falling off the edge of a cliff. And in fact, I spoke to Ford Motor CEO Alan Mulally. Ford sales grew 45% in the first quarter in China, and I asked him about the 2014 outlook. Take a look.
Well, we are one of the fastest growing brands in China, and the strength of that blue oval and how much they love what it stands for, and the quality, the fuel efficiency, and the safety. And of course, it's affordable. You can actually get the best cars and trucks in the world.
But one thing that consumers tell me, or Chinese consumers say about American cars, is about fuel efficiency. And sometimes quality. What are you doing to fix that kind of perception?
Well, I think that what's really neat about Ford is we have the most fuel-efficient cars in the world, and especially when it comes to the propulsion system. So direct fuel injection, turbocharging, 30% improvement in fuel mileage, reduction in CO2. So we are absolutely committed not only to economic development, but also energy independence and sustainability.
You're trying to take advantage of China's extremely fast growth in SUVs, but there's another segment that is growing extremely fast. That's the premium vehicles. What are you doing to capture that?
Well, we want you to come to the press conference in a few minutes because we're going to also share our plans for a fully differentiated, complete family of luxury Lincoln vehicles.
Do you think Chinese consumers will buy into that? Because Ford is seen as fairly mass market.
Chinese consumers are so knowledgeable, and they know all about Ford, they know about Henry Ford, they know about Lincoln, and now they get a chance to experience these fantastic luxury vehicles from Lincoln. In
the US, the F-150 pickup truck is one of the most popular cars around.
Yes.
So the relaunch is getting a lot of attention. Any risks there, you think?
Clearly, the improvement we're making now by going with the high-strength aluminum alloys is going to reduce the weight by 700 pounds. So the consumers will have more towing capability and more hauling capability. So people are very excited about this latest version of the Ford Tough F1 series.
And pricing pressures in the US?
Well, it's a very competitive market, but clearly, as you know, the Ford brand continues to improve in the United States also. So our transaction prices and how people feel about the pricing is very, very positive.
And finally, everyone raves about what you've done at Ford, but there are worries that once you leave, things may not be so robust.
I am not.
How long are you going to stick around?
I am not worried at all. Clearly, I love serving Ford, but we've had a very, very solid and robust succession planning and leadership development. And I put a lot of teams together over my 45 years, both at Boeing serving China as well as Ford. But the team is fantastic. The processes are in place, the strategy's in place, the products are all funded for the next 5 years. So I have all the confidence in the world that Ford's going to keep delivering on Henry Ford's original promise to the consumers around the world.
Cheng, that's great stuff. Just a quick question. Any word or any news out of the Chinese automakers on their strategy, whether it's in China or around the world?
I'm sorry, can you just repeat that question about Chinese automakers taking on the world?
I was just going to ask if they made any big announcements at the auto show.
Oh, right, of course. There was the big one. General Motors spending $12 billion over the next 3 years to build 5 plants. And it's interesting, the geographical location, because you've got central, which with the Wuhan plant, you've got northern China with the Shenyang plant, you've got western China with the Chongqing plant, and eastern China with the Jingqiao plant. So as China urbanizes and as the growth becomes more balanced, there's going to be still a lot of demand for cars, even though you hear a lot about austerity measures, even though you hear about the car restrictions, car purchase restrictions in 6 cities. But what automakers tell me is that it's actually a positive for some of them, because if it's so hard to get a car plate, they actually go premium. So the likes of BMW benefit. Back to you, Phil.